Hello everyone, my name is Griff, and today we are going to be going over the newest Gala to answer the question of should you summon. Now, this Gala just came out tonight, or today actually, at reset rather, and it does feature Gala Mascula and Sharpshooter Sarisse. So for those of you who are just going based off the information of this event, you will notice that I believe his name is Isaac, is not actually on this banner, so he'll probably be on the next banner. I haven't played the event much yet, so I don't know if he's a free character or something like that, but I kind of doubt it. But he's just not on this banner, it's just Gala Mascula and Sharpshooter Sarisse. And as usual, there's a 6% chance for 5 stars, as opposed to number 4%, and there is a limited Gala character, who is Gala Mascula. So, before I get into this, I do want to mention that additionally, new endgame water content has dropped tonight. It was the Legend Aha and Toho's Wrath, and I did want to wait a day, or rather I did want to wait until I could see, the effects of these two units on some of the first clears. And I did notice that a few people were using Gala Mascula, but I didn't see many Sharpshooter Sarisses, and that's kind of what I expected. As we get into these units, I do think that Gala Mascula seems to be the stronger of the two, but I think that both really want something kind of particular, so we'll have to see that when we get into the units. But let's just go straight into the units. We do have Gala Mascula here. I will deliver peace to this world in my own body with my own hands. Pretty cool. I like the design. He is a water blade, which a lot of people were expecting since, in the story, Luca gets Mascula's blade and becomes Galaluca. At this point, Mascula would be a blade unit. But we have his first skill, which is Code 3, Rise Generator. Grants the user a shield and immunity to knockback. If the user has master control, a more powerful version of the skill called Code 8 Execution will be used instead. In addition to the skill's base effect, Code 8 Execution also grants the user a Amplified Current effect. During Amplified Current, the user's standard attacks are buffed and hit more times per attack. So as you see here, he doesn't actually have any damage on his first skill. He has a shield that gives him a knockback immunity, and he gets buffs on his standard attacks. So as you see already, this is kind of the motif of the unit, is going to be standard attacks. And as we get into his second skill, we have the Code 36 Coolant Circle, which grants user master control. If the user is in master control, a more powerful version of the skill called Code 6 Conclusion will use. In Conclusion, deals damage to surrounding enemies and dispels one buff. So as you see, he does actually have a damage skill later on, and it actually is cheaper the second cast than it is the first cast, and this also is shareable, and it will be shareable on the second cast. But as you can see, it's around 3,800 rather on the second cast, and it's 5,500 on the first cast. So getting into master control will be harder than getting the skill up, but you will have that skill, and it does have a dispel effect, so it's pretty good. And this works very similarly to Galaxy from what we've seen so far from the kit, and what I've seen in gameplay is that he kind of, works on to get his second skill. He goes into his second skill mode, and then it upgrades his first two skills. His co ability is normal, and his chain co ability is pretty good. Combo equals buff time plus 15%. Kind of unique for him, because I don't know how much he benefits from it, but it is a pretty cool co ability. But his perks really come into play when you look at his abilities. So, using a Masha and Niku skill displays at the top of the skill list grants him a strength amp with a maximum team amp of level 3. After this amp is granted, this ability will not grant again for 20 seconds. So essentially, this will grant you a skill amp if you use it. You'll notice that the SP cost is a bit high for this. It's actually higher than the second skill, even at its own. But it is a pretty decent skill, and it is giving you a skill up, and you should be able to get it within that 20-second window as long as you're attacking. And then additionally, Master Control, granted by his second skill, grants Master the following effects. His standard attacks are buff and deal additional blows to multiple enemies. His fourth attack on his standard attack combo would dispel one enemy buff. His attack rate is increased by 6%. When the combo count is 30 or higher, his strength is increased by 10%. His critical rate is increased by 8%, and 8% is added to the modifier for critical damage. When Master Control is lost, the skill gauge for Vacuum Sense will be filled by 50%. Also, Master Control is lost upon shape shifting. So essentially, he has his own synergy in kit. Even if you are shape shifting, even if you are pushing the limit of what you want to do, he still will be able to get to the point where he is strong and doing damage and doing buffs. And the thing about him is that, as I said before, he's kind of standard attack damage focused. And it kind of fits similarly into not Galaxy, but Galaxy because of her Chenko ability, but Sharpshooter Sarisse, she's a close range mana caster, and she's also very standard attack focused. But I think that both these units really want the backliner of Tiki on their team to get that water standard attack damage, in things like Legend Aha and Toho, and in things that require you to stay to one element. I do think they would appreciate that, but I do think that they both have potential on their own, just due to the things that he can do. Mascula has a really good Dispel control. He seems like a really good backliner. I don't know if it would be better than like Lapis's Dispel spam, but it does seem to be quite a bit. And then his second skill, or second ability rather, is Mana Reactor 2, which I believe is very similar to the name of Laxis. I don't know the name of Laxis on the top of my head. But Burning and Stun, 100%. And then Critical Frenzy increases critical rate by 4% for every 15 hit combo, up to 3 times per combo, and adds 4% to the modifier for critical damage each time the user's attack is a hitable crit after 10 times for activating. After activating, this critical hit will not activate again for 1 second. These buffs are removed when the combo counter resets. So yeah, in addition to wanting that standard attack damage up, you do kind of want a unit that will give you extended combo time. But not too bad at all. He seems really cool. I definitely want to summon him more so from a gameplay or a lore perspective, because I really like him, but decent in gameplay wise. Next we have Sharpshooter Sarisse, who I really like her art. I think that she is the more fan servicey character of this banner, because I think that a lot of people really wanted a Sarisse ult, and we haven't had a non-limited Sarisse ult ever, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, she's another water Sarisse ult, this time a long range, a close range mana caster. As you can see here with her first skill called Progressive Blaster, deals damage to enemies directly ahead, inflicts frostbite, and the combo. If the skill hits 25 or more times during the same combo, fills the skill gauge for Sylvan Aim by 25%. So as you can see, this hit 25 times, or it can't hit 25 times. So if you get all 25 of those hits, which you probably want to be at close range to do, you will get a buff on your second skill. And then you have Sylvan Aim, which is shareable again. Deals damage to the target and nearby enemies, and activates one of the following effects at random. Reduces the strength of enemy hits by this attack, reduces the defense of enemies hit, restores the user's to HP. So as you can see here, all of these effects are here. And it does have a decent SP cost, but like I said before, if you do get your second skill up, or rather if you have your first skill up, and you hit all 25 hits, you will get an SP reduction on the second skill. And just looking at these, she seems, to me personally, from what I've seen in a little gameplay that I've seen with her, she seems like a perfect water backliner in a similar sense to Silas. So the way Silas works is that Silas had this second skill that would debuff the enemy and then sometimes would do all of the effects. I think she's very similar in that she has a strength debuff, a defense debuff, and a healing effector that you can put on the backline. And you can cycle through these pretty quickly if you are going for like a skill regeneration, a skill haste build on her. She'll have decent damage, she'll enable frostbite, she'll enable these different debuffs. So I think that she has a lot of potential in that aspect. I don't know how well her DPS will rank, but I do think that that is a pretty unique part of her kit. And then she has the co-ability Gauge Accelerator, and she has the combo equals energy level up, which is not great, but it is something. Then she has debuff skill time up by 20%, so you might want to slot more debuff onto her. Stun res, which is pretty normal. And then last recovery 4, which I don't really like. I don't really like the 1 time per use skills on characters, because I feel like they're a little useless. I feel like they a little, most of the time you won't be at low HP below 30% unless you like really mess it up. So in that case, if you did really mess up, it's able to save you. But this doesn't help her perform better, in my opinion. So all in all, I think she is the weaker of the two, and I think overall the two aren't too amazing if you have a strong water backline. For example, me. Let me just go into my backlines, and here's my team of androids I'm making for when I summon for Gala Mascula. If I go into my water backline, I have these two here, who are amazing kind of damage mitigation tankier units that are doing things, buffing the team a little bit. I have Lapis, who is a Dispel machine, super good distant DPS. I have Gala Mascula, I have, you know, Mitsuba. I have all of these really good water units that I feel like I won't even be really using the two of them that much. So if you're in that situation where you have a lot of good water units, I would say it's okay not to summon on this banner. But it is a Gala banner. It is the Gala Mascula is a limited time character in that sense. So I do think it is worth to summon for him if that's what you're going for. So all in all, I'd say if you're an endgame player like me and you have a big water backline, you don't need to summon here. But if you just want the character, you should, because it is a Gala. Now Galas are more, you know, appear more often than they did before, but still, Galas are important. So yeah, that's going to be it for me for today. I was going to make a video going over the event details, but I noticed that when I went in the event for the first time, which I just skipped the story, this is a 2-week event, and there's going to be more added on the 3rd. So I'm thinking that I'll make a video later in the week than earlier in the week. So expect some other videos to come up in this week otherwise. That's going to be it for me for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.